This is make 3 to 5K a month recurring income as a VA in your first 90 days. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully you're in the right spot. I'd say you are. I'm Nisha, the Aligned Pretzel. I'm just checking that this is transmitting okay because I live on an island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and we have lots of storms and we're having one right now. But this is just too freaking important for people to not have in their hands this second. It looks okay, so yay. Great. I had to come to my bedroom to record this because otherwise it was just so pixely and the picture was so bad and it was just awful. Anyway, so this is my bedroom. Welcome. Okay, so you are here. You probably want to find out a little bit more about becoming a virtual assistant or how you can make 3 to 5K, alongside your coaching job or your 9 to 5 or your MLM, whatever your side hustle is. Perhaps you have a dream of leaving your 9 to 5. Either way, you're here because you're curious, or you're like, Isha, I'm really shitty at techie stuff and I want to understand how to do the things on my own. Maybe pick up some freelance work. Who knows? You're in the right place. Welcome, friend. Okay, so as I said, I'm Nisha. I'm the Aligned Pretzel. You can find out all about me. If you Google the Aligned Pretzel, I'm everywhere. Podcasts, Facebook, Instagram, website, whatever else. I don't know what else. But anyway, so I'm happy you're here. I want to really just dive in quick and get this all kind of rolling for you and give you so much fucking value today that your mind is like, so no matter where you are in your life, if you have a business or don't have a business, you can absolutely fucking make 3 to 5K this upcoming month before the 90 days are up. Absolutely, but absolutely in your first 90 days of being a virtual assistant. So let's just jump into what we're going to learn today. And so I'm not wasting your time because we all know we got shits to do, right? Okay. So, as I said, I'm the Aligned Pretzel. I am an orgasmic business coach as well as an orgasmic virtual assistant and a 200-hour certified yoga instructor. Yay! Yes, I do all the things. So, here's how today is going to go down. First of all, your whole takeaway is going to be how you're going to make 3 to 5K as a VA in the next 90 days. Absolutely, okay? I'm going to debunk some myths about becoming a VA. We're going to talk about what VAs actually do. Some people, even coaches, are just like, I don't really know what they do. So that, and what do you need to get started, and where they go wrong and end up failing or just having really horrible experiences. So we're going to talk about that too, and how to find soulmate clients really fucking easily, and how that recurring income. This whole thing for me is to really drive home. It's not about making 3 to 5K in the next month or in the next 90 days or whatever. It's about making that recurring income that you always have 3 to 5K and more as you grow coming in every single month just from this, just from being a virtual assistant. And then there's other things on top, right? If you so choose. So, how you can get started, and this is why I'm really here for you. Being a virtual assistant is the answer to all of that financial stress and heaviness and energy that you've been feeling melting away. I promise you. So here's a little bit more about me. So if you stay tuned to this webinar, these are the things that we're going to go over. So the whole thing is going to be just a jam-packed value partay. But my whole intention for being here is showing you and helping you feel into what it would really feel like to have all that financial burden that I know you're really feeling right now to be gone. to be able to breathe into whatever your purpose work is, because you already have 3K coming in. So you don't even give a shit about how many sales you have in your coaching business anymore, or how many paintings you've sold, or whatever it is for you, right? And this is what I really found skyrocketed me. And we'll get into this more in a little minute. But so a little bit more about me. As I said, I've been a coach. I've been in the online space. I was a yoga teacher and a nurse before this. What is happening with this hair? I've had really short hair for a few months, and now it's quite growing, right? I had it this short, maybe and I just don't know what to do with it now. Most if I have it down, I'm like, oh, look, length, but I don't actually know what to do with it. Anyway, okay. Truth be told, yes, I'm an orgasmic business coach and virtual assistant and yoga instructor. Like I said, I've been doing this for about 2 years, and I didn't know anything about tech when I came into the online space, okay? I didn't know how to apply for a domain. I didn't know how to send an email from an email provider other than Gmail. I didn't know how to create a list or a website or anything. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to create a graphic. You couldn't have been more tech naive than me. Everything that I've learned, editing videos, creating funnels, any kind of software really, social media marketing, algorithms, all the things, has been from experience. I self-taught, self-made, and investing in people who did know things I didn't know, like branding. So, don't come off and say, but I'm not techie, so I can't be a VA, because it doesn't actually fucking matter. So that's just my little side note for a second, but let's get back on track to my notes here. So a little bit more about me. Like I said, I've been coaching for a while, but something just felt kind of off. I had massive success and then didn't, and had massive success and then I still had success, but it wasn't the massiveness that I had felt previously, right? But even when I did have that massive success, something felt off. I felt I questioned if it was really my purpose to be a coach. Because even though I felt really lit up by things like voice coaching, I really dreaded getting on client calls, even though I fucking loved all of my clients so much. And after them, I felt really drained. Sometimes one a day was all I could do, and I just didn't understand why I was feeling that way. But I knew that kind of brain fog, feeling drained, feeling, because I felt like that when I was a nurse and I was so out of alignment. So I was constantly playing with this. Does that mean that I'm not quite on my purpose? And I allowed myself to have this with kind of this friendly, open-minded view, right? And I kept having this nudge to be a virtual assistant. I heard it in my mind over and over again. Offer VA service, offer VA services, offer VA services. And I judged myself and I said, oh, you're just doing that for the money. Oh, you don't want to be bossed around by somebody else. The same thing as being an employee. No, you don't actually want to do that. No, you don't actually have interest in that. And the truth was, I was just creating my own self-sabotage and resistance. And I doubted that I was techie enough to be a virtual assistant. I was can I physically do it though? And the truth was, that kept coming up over and over again until I couldn't ignore it anymore. It was so loud. And I just went for it. And what happened was I was nearly sold out in the first 48 hours. It was a weekend, and it was just beyond the first of the month. And it was boom, 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 boom. And I was holy shit. I couldn't believe it. I think I signed my first client maybe 8 hours after making the post or something like that. But besides the whole client part, I felt so fulfilled in my days. I felt like I had real purpose, and that I felt like my soul was fulfilled. And I just felt really good, because not only was I getting paid to market my business, but I was also getting paid to work on their business. And it was 2 businesses got propelled at the same time. And it just warmed my absolute heart to see how they felt, how the client felt, to have all of that weight of the tasks just lifted off their shoulders. And it just lit me up. So I was so afraid to go down this path. I was so afraid people were going to judge me, say she's going backwards. And one person actually did say that to me. And you know what? It's not backwards. If you're already had a business, you're bringing that knowledge forward. And people really look at you like, man, she's such a valuable member because she knows strategy or whatever it is your background is, right? People don't look at it like that. They look at it as like, what a fucking powerhouse that she can do all these things. And in fact, being a coach previously helped me with my sales because people knew that I had the background and that I knew how to do sales, for example, right? Or marketing or whatever. And we're like, oh my God, that is so good, versus not knowing the skills to begin with, right? But it doesn't matter if you literally don't know anything about business or marketing or techie or whatever, you can still do this. So I was really afraid to go down this path, but I just felt into it and did it anyway, and it so paid off. Look at me, I'm fucking glowing. Like, I'm so happy. And the truth is that I made more my first month in offering virtual assisting services than my last 3 months in my coaching business. But why is that, right? I think that's important to address. Why is that all of a sudden? And then once I really settled into that and saw how much passive recurring income I had, how much recurring income I had with the VA stuff, my passive income with my coaching business went shoo. So I have courses and small tripwires and things of that nature, and a membership group, which you can have like whatever you want, right? So if you're someone who's like really struggling in their purpose right now, like they're struggling to make the money, you know, your purpose shouldn't be held hostage by money. So, and I felt like that was kind of starting to be me a little bit. So the thing is, when you allow yourself, let's just take a trip for a second. Imagine you become a VA, okay? And you make $3K, say, to lowball in your first month. Now, on top of that, you have whatever you're currently doing. Perhaps that's coaching, for example, or mentoring, or healing services. Now, on top of that, now everything that you sell as a coach, as a mentor, as a healer is now gravy, because you already had your bills and some paid for with your virtual assistant work. And now you're just like, damn, this is just play money or money to put towards your debt, right? Like I said, I'm here to create this financial freedom and feeling of like, you don't have any financial stress anymore. OMFG. Whoa, can you feel into that for a sec? What that really feels like. Your needs are already taken care of, and the thing is, it's not 1 month, it's recurring. You know you always have 3 to 5K coming in, right? And so obviously, like, so if I made 3K that last month, I already know that I have at least 3K this month, right? And then there are things on top of that, right? Courses, tripwires, memberships, whatever you want to put your energy into, right? That feed on top of that. But why it happens, why the purpose work, right, will really start jumping forward, and you'll see an influx of cash in that as you become a VA, is because you're no longer like, must have money, can't pay my bills, oh my God, what am I going to do? Or there's all this debt stacking up, and that's a really heavy energy. Debt's a really heavy energy, right? And so instead, you're like, oh, I've got all my things taken care of. Oh, thank God. And so you have such this ease and flow about the other things that you're working on, right? Like I said, healing, coaching, whatever. Maybe it's your 9 to 5. And these manifestations just come in from absolute nowhere. I had manifestations coming in from yoga. I had nobody coming to any yoga classes. I stopped doing them. I had 3 different groups approach me to pay me privately. One of them paid me over $120 more than what I asked for, and I already worked in a tip, and so I got a tip on top of a tip, right? And now when I teach public classes, where nobody was coming, I'm making like on average $100 a class teaching yoga. Like, that is unheard of for a yogi, right? And that is because I wasn't focused on, oh my God, hopefully I make $40 this class so that I can get some groceries after. No, I was focused on like, well, I got all my shit taken care of and I just get to be like a free bird, and teaching for me is fun, right? So you get to be kind of, I feel like I'm making this long, but I just really want to have this picture for you. You get to do as many hours virtual assisting as you want to allow you to be supported, and your other things get to flow in, right? And it gets to be like this really different kinds of work happening in your sphere and money coming from all kinds of areas, and it allows for such variety, and you just don't get bored of anything. Okay, totally off track. Let me see. Okay, yes. So this says you get to say hello to passive income, right? Even just having an $11 tripwire, I think in a week I made like $100 in that tripwire. Like, it's just a no-brainer, right? You get to say hello to passive income now. And you get to see your financial stress completely soothe and allow you to receive like manifestations like you never had imagined. I had given up on yoga, and here was now the town knows me, and I'm being asked to do different retreats and days for seniors, people who I don't even know. Like, I'm known as, I'm the yoga teacher. Like, I'm a local fucking celebrity. Okay, so let's get back on track here, because Nisha's gone off track. Sorry. Okay, debunking some myths. I'll try to see if I can tighten this up. No, you don't work 24/7 as a VA. In fact, I worked the same amount of hours I did as a coach. I feel more fulfilled. I still take a bath in the middle of the day if I want one. I go for a walk. I teach classes in the middle of the day, like yoga classes. It doesn't matter. I still do all the things that I want to do. I still work the same amount of hours, and I have just as much freedom. So I want to clear that up. And no, you don't get paid like shit, because I hear that a lot, because you'll see people posting like VA for hire for $5, which is ridiculous. Don't fucking do that. That's horrible. For you, because the person's not getting quality work, and for you for being underpaid. But no, you don't get paid shitty. You get paid a living fucking wage where you get to breathe and not feel that stress on your shoulders anymore. Okay. And no, you aren't an employee where you basically just get bossed around by the person who's hiring you. You are contracted help. You are outsourced. You are the most valuable member of the team, because they're so fucking happy to have you, and without you, they wouldn't be getting all the things done that they're getting done now. You boost their sales because you take away, tasks that maybe they don't like or are menial or don't light them up, or they don't have time for, and allow them to focus on their zone of genius. Like, you get to see them shine like I am, right? Like, you do that. That's beautiful. Okay. Okay. What do VAs actually do? Choose your level, friends. Okay? So, virtual assistant can do anything. I have some clients that have me doing more administrative type tasks, like cleaning up their inbox, doing travel plans, like financials, those kinds of things. Or you can be like, no, I only want to do social media. Like, you get to choose your level of what you want to do. Personally, I really love funnels, especially in Kajabi, so that's what I focus on. That's my, main focus, but I still do all the things. So if you say, no, I only want to do admin tasks, then only do admin tasks. Or say, no, I want to learn all the techie things, and I want to learn how to, like, smoothly run a coaching business. Or maybe you already know a decent amount about that because you've dabbled in coaching or are a coach. Then do that, right? You get to choose. You get to say, these are my boundaries, and this is what I'll do, and this is what I don't do. And don't do things that aren't lighting you up. Like, if you don't want to look at a fucking spreadsheet, then say, no, I don't do anything that deals with spreadsheets. Or, like, I don't want to do anything with YouTube because I don't know anything about YouTube, right? Like, you get to decide, and you get to specialize in whatever you want, okay? speaking of specializing, we're going to talk about the mistakes now. Okay. Mistakes they do is not having clear expectations outlined. So this kind of plays into having contracts, but not having clear expectations on what you will do and when and what you need from your client, right? So that, and which you can see how contracts can play into that. Like, I recommend having contracts if I was gonna say if you can, you totally can. Like, come on. I recommend having contracts, right? Like, you want to have yourself covered, that like any images they give you, for example, like you're covered for if they you know, like that they're certifying that they are allowed to use them, that you're allowed to use them on, you know, their behalf. That if they pay you for the month and then decide not to go with it, too bad, so sad, schmo. Like, you paid, the expectation is that you finish, right? No refunds. What else? Clearly outlines, this is when we end, this is when we start, this is how much I get paid, these are the hours I will answer, these are the hours I'm not available, right? That kind of thing. Like, you want to still have boundaries and have, like, these are my office hours, and if it's after this, you probably won't hear a response from me, but here are the response times. Here's the average time for projects. And you might not know that right away, but that's okay. Think about, what would you want, right? If you ask someone to do a funnel or a website or something like that, what would your, like, response time that felt really, really good, what would that be, right? And then you can, of course, never make like a promise because you don't know what's going to happen. Like, life is life. Here's my intention, right? Okay, so clear expectations, boundaries, that kind of thing, right? And obviously, yeah, you need to have the client to supply you with things, right? Like, obviously, if they're not supplying you with their passwords or logos or pictures or copy, then it's a little bit hard to do your job, isn't it? Okay. So, other mistakes is not specializing at all, saying, I'm just a jail of all trades, I do it all. Which I do say that, but on the flip side, I have expertise in Kajabi, which helps me draw in people who specifically want funnels done or who have Kajabi, right? Or want a Kajabi site done. So there's a lot of that, right? Kajabi funnels are pretty easy. Can't talk right now, sorry. Kajabi funnels are pretty easy, but not everybody has the time to do them. And somebody would often look at a Kajabi funnel and think, who's going to pay you to do that? There are people who will pay you to do that, right? Because I just don't have the time. And it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody whose business is explosive. You'd be surprised how many people who are doing their business and their 9-to-5 or their corporate whatever, that's why they need the help, right? It's not all about people that have thrived and have 6-figure years and whatever. There are people in their corporate jobs who need your help too, right? It is all over the place. It is not just one client. And then on the flip side, over specializing. Oops. Sorry. Over specializing, meaning I only do spreadsheets or something stupid. I only do ClickFunnels funnels or something, like, you know, like, sure, you can make more money by specializing sometimes, and sometimes you can not make enough money by specializing because you're just too highly specialized, right? There's nothing wrong with specializing. In fact, like, I recommend, like, you have your one thing, right? But that doesn't mean you have to be like, I'm a VA. Like, my profile doesn't say I'm a VA for Kajabi funnels. It just says I'm an orgasmic virtual assistant, right? So you can claim in your copy, like, what your specialty is, yet still do other things, right? Make sense? Okay. Again, not having a contract, you will get burned. That being said, total disclosure, like, for my hourly people, I don't have contracts. I could, I just don't bother. But for my retainer clients, I do. So, I see this a lot in this industry, and I don't agree with it. Working before you get paid. I see a lot of people working first and sending invoices later, and then getting paid after the job is done, or just having like a deposit up front, etc., etc. My standard is not only do I get paid recurring. So it's on a subscription, and if you don't want to work with me anymore, then you have to cancel it, right? Because why are you making more work for yourself, first of all, that you have to invoice every client and check in that they've actually paid and all the things? You're making more work for you, and you're making more work for them, and they're asking you to take work off your plate. So why wouldn't you just set up like a recurring subscription through PayPal or Stripe, whatever you're using or decide to use, and make it easy for everybody, right? But also, like, you deserve to get paid first. Now, I'm sure most people aren't going to fuck you over and not pay you, but there's always that risk of that one person who does that, right? So why even open yourself up to that and be available for that? Be like, my standard is the exact opposite of that. Thank you, right? Like, and these are the kinds of things that I'm going to be teaching in my upcoming course, Become a VA in 5 Minutes, and Tech School for Yogis. These are the kind of things that I'm going to be teaching, okay? So, yeah, having those really strong standards and treating it like it's a 9 to 5 is another mistake I see. So, like, working, oh, I gotta work this 8 hours and get as much done in this 8 hours, that kind of thing, and push through the tasks, blah, blah, blah. That actually makes you less productive, and this is one of the things we'll be teaching in the course, is to, like, leaning into pleasure more, even as a virtual assistant, because there's this thing that we got, like, task, gotta do this thing, oh my god, and that is the opposite of what you want to be, and that's certainly not attracting in any clients, so, or new ones, right? So, yeah, and then that leads right into finding clients easily. Not just clients, your soulmate fucking clients that are just so amazing. So what this is actually about, and of course, yes, I'm teaching this, is how to talk about yourself, and having a sales process that actually works, right? Owning what you're good at, what you're, you know, and not owning what you're not. But it's also about creating content that isn't just like, I'm a VA, hire me, right? Or like frantically commenting on every inquiry post about a virtual assistant saying, me, hire me. I see this all the time. Like, people charging, the people that are charging $5 to $10 an hour for a virtual assistant are the ones commenting on every post, cold messaging you, me, hire me, me, hire me. Tell me why. Why the fuck should I hire you, right? What's different? And, you know, I really thought that I wouldn't find a lot of work as a virtual assistant because there's so many out there. Like, every time I see a post, it's like, me, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. Yet here I am, almost booked out because I owned myself. I didn't go seeking for anybody. I was like, yeah, I'm doing this. If you want it, come get it. Pretty much, right? Like, this is how it is. And I've never had anyone question my rate. My hourly rate is $30, by the way. And honestly, I could charge $50 with what I know and my expertise, but it's not about the money, so I don't. And then my retainer amount just keeps going as I sign more people. But yeah, the ones that are charging lowball numbers are the ones being like, oh my god, me, right? Hire me. With this frantic freaking energy and have no idea how to market themselves, right? Like, it's great. Okay, be a VA, and then it's like, but how do I, like, market myself in a way where people know that it's time, like, they just gotta fucking hire me now. And that's what my upcoming group program, like I just mentioned, is about. And we'll talk about that more in a little bit. But moving on. Okay. The last couple things I want to talk about are the recurring income piece. Yeah, yummy. So, you want to stack your clients and your income, which means if you've ever done like a ladder class in yoga, it's like you have the base pose and then you build on and build on and build on this base pose. And that's what you do. You come in with retainer clients that pay you monthly, and then you stack upon, right? And so, okay, so maybe you start with like, oh, I got $500 a month recurring, awesome. And then you have another one, and you keep upping your price so that you're just stacking that. But as well, even your hourly clients, you're still stacking it. It's still recurring because it's like, this isn't a one-time thing. Here's my recurring payment link, right? So you know, if it's January 31st, you know on February 1st, you're going to get paid this much, and then on the 5th, there's going to be this person who's going to pay this much, and blah, blah, blah. And you don't even have to think about it. It's just going right into your Stripe account, or your PayPal, or whatever. And that's how you stack the income, right? And then sure, you can do one-off jobs besides, right? People who just want help or want funnels or websites or design or whatever, okay? And also, I never ever thought I'd be good at design, and it's like my favorite. So there's that. So that's how like recurring income works, right? Like, you know that you have 3 to 5K coming in every single fucking month. Like, that is just like, oh my gosh, like, do you feel your shoulder blades roll down your back when you hear that? I was like, oh, you get to make a decent living. Seriously. Like, you don't struggle. And the thing is, it doesn't take all your time away from what you really love. You know, like, not everybody's dream is like, I want to be a virtual assistant. And that's okay, right? But like I said, like, money shouldn't hold your dream hostage of, you know, being an artist or a coach or a mentor, a healer, or whatever. These are the things that give you the freedom to still put time into that. Like I said, my passive income, which is really what I want, my courses, my funnels, it just started skyrocketing as soon as I felt into, oh, I actually have all this recurring income. And I never have to wonder where my next dollar is coming from ever again. Like, whoa, dude, your energy is totally different. And that makes more people want to work with you as a VA. More people want to work with you as your purpose work. It makes more people want to be around you. And people ask you to come be a speaker for things. And you just get more seen, more notarized, more everything. Okay. While you're making a decent living, like, I have almost developed like a wine habit because I'm having it so much. But it was just like, it's just such a treat, you know? And it's just like having wine all the time. It's just like now a normal, or having bubbly all the time, because it is bubbly, but right? Instead of like, that's no longer a treat, like that's a standard, like your life standard just shifts because it's not like, well, if I make this extra sale with this Reiki healing or something, then I can get a bottle of wine. It's just like, well, obviously you get to have it. And then when that person, 5 people book their Reiki healing because your energy is so amazing, then the money is just like bonus, right? And you can use it for whatever you want. So, okay. Last couple things here. What's really important in this whole thing is knowing your inherent value. We've talked about pricing a little bit. I told you what my price is, but it's not about copying my price. It's about feeling what would feel really good to you, right? Like I said, I could charge like $50 an hour or more. I don't. Even as a yoga teacher, I could charge way more. I was a nurse. I know everything about anatomy. But, you know, I don't charge an arm and a leg because that's not what it's about. But you still have to know your inherent value and have the right mindset and energy in order to attract those clients to you, right? And of course, like I said, we're going to be going really deep into this in my upcoming group program. It's going to be like 9 weeks. It's going to be extensive as fuck and cutting all the shortcuts for you. So, let's come back to center, shall we? Little inhale. So imagine if you could completely and totally soothe all your financial stress, knowing that you had, like I said, 3 to 5K coming in no matter what. That was your base. And you had that coming in every single month. That was recurring. And then you have the other things besides, whatever that is for you, right? Yoga and teaching fuels my soul. And that's just gravy on top of this. And so if this feels like a fuck yes in your body, then I invite you to join me in my upcoming group program. Okay? We start March 1st, and it's called Become a VA in 5 Minutes. And that's literally what it is. We are going to, this is going to be the only time we run it live. There's going to be coursework and videos to show you how to cut through the tech stuff, give you all the shortcuts, how to do it, and you get to keep that for life. And as well, we're going to have a coaching call every single week, like a group call, that'll be recorded, that will be used for for future versions of this course. So that we can come together and talk about the other things, like how to price yourself and how to make content to really like sell yourself. How do you actually talk about yourself, finding those soulmate clients, and just having everything set up. Like, you can probably take this webinar and go out and, you know, become a virtual assistant, and hands off to you, girl. Go. But if you want to cut through this shit and do it right, and not waste your time, because you and I both know how much time can be wasted while we're trying to figure out tech stuff and design and funnels and all the things when we don't actually know that system. We can spend hours lost in it, right? Oh God, sorry. So I want to cut that time for you, right? I want this to be just like such an easy, streamlined experience for you. And I want you to make the 3 to 5K, right? I want you to get to 5K, like, in the next 90 days. I think that's amazing. And I think you deserve to do that and allow your purpose work to just, like, flow through for you, right? Like, you get to have it all. Anyway, so we're starting March 1st. Early bird ends on Valentine's Day, so February 14th. You save $222 on the early bird. Plus, you get 2 extra courses for free. So in this, I'm including my Orgasmic Sales and Manifesting course, which tells you how to create your own sales process so that not only are you getting the clients, but you're closing all the sales. Secondly, the early bird only gets access to my famous course, Get Motherfucking Paid. So this is my best-selling course. It is always a massive launch, and people have signed like dreamy high ticket clients from this, even their first high ticket client. So imagine what you could do as a virtual assistant. Like, there is no limit to what you can do. So basically, get it now. If you don't have the link, I don't know how you could not have the link, but if you don't, send me a message on Facebook or write me an email at nisha@thealignedpretzel.com, and we will get you in. Again, the early bird ends on the 14th, right? After that, the price goes up $200, and you don't get access to Get Motherfucking Paid, which is the best course ever. Oh my God. Like, best thing I ever created, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be the best thing I ever created once we're done together. It's an 8-week group program, right? Doing this together, plus a bonus week, because you know we got to talk about pleasure and feeling into that and creating your own passive income. Obviously, right? You get to have all the streams. You get to have the time freedom you want. You get to be able to go do shit with your kids in the middle of the day, right? You don't have to miss the things anymore, or say to your family that you can't do these things because you don't have the money. That's not your reality anymore. Your reality is this: supporting someone so deeply that you're the most valued member on their team. They love you. They're obsessed with you so much that they start singing your praises all over the fucking internet, and boom, you're booked out, right? Yet you have the location, time, freedom to do whatever you want. Make your own schedule. Do things you want. Don't do things you don't want. And have a beautiful life. If you have any questions about becoming a virtual assistant or my upcoming program, please shoot me a message. I'm totally an open fucking book. I think you know that. But I just want to thank you for being here and coming on this little memory lane journey with me. I hope this webinar was really helpful to you as well. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Goddess, I will see you in Become a VA in 5 minutes. I'm so excited to run this. Like, look at me. I'm just majazzed. It's going to be so magic. Literally, you could create a new career, a new stream of income from this. One that's sustainable. You know, before I go, I just want to say one thing. Sometimes coaching is a hard sell because, and that's not a mindset, because it's an intangible thing and you're really trusting in that person to deliver on what they promise, right? Or what they're saying or what they're about or what their message is. So sometimes even just for a $500 program, people are really hesitant to throw their money at it. But as a virtual assistant, people are not hesitant to throw their money at you at all because they're getting something specific in return. Even though it's not really tangible, something they touch with their hands, they're getting something specific. They're getting social media reposting, they're getting website, they're getting copy, right? Like any of these things, or they're getting a spreadsheet done or whatever. They can see X was for X, right? And so people have no problem throwing hundreds of dollars at you per month and even thousands for you to execute this work on their behalf and to support them, right? And just, yeah, it's so good. And I just want you to be fully supported in your purpose and not feel like money isn't accessible to you anymore, because it's so ready to support you and it's ready to be here, and I'm ready to be here for you too.